So you've got yourself a new Galaxy, congratulations, you now own one of the most powerful smartphones on the planet, and I've made this video to help you save time by showing you the most important settings and hidden features that you need to know about your phone on day one. Now, if you sold your soul to buy your new phone like I did, you probably don't want to lose it anytime soon. So let's set up a contingency plan like Batman would. Go to Settings, Security and Privacy, and then tap on Find My Mobile. And it's this section here, offline finding, that we want to look at. So if you enable this feature and some nicks your phone, you can track them down like Liam Neeson in that film Taken, because when this is on, your phone will be transmitting a signal like a beacon to other Samsung Galaxy devices that may be near you. And when it does, it will update its location on the map, which means you can track down your phone using its precise location. And before we move on from this tip, there's two more fail-safe security measures that I recommend you put in place. This setting here is a good one to enable because this encrypts the location on other people's devices if their device is being used to update the location of your device. You do need to set up a PIN number. But if we go back one step, enable this, send last location. If the thinks they're being smart by putting your phone inside an RFID blocking bag or something like that, at least you will know the last location that it was at when it went missing. And here's the third security measure, which I do recommend, but it's not essential. See this web address? Copy it and email it to yourself. Give the email a memorable title so that you can find it in an emergency, because this is the web address you'll need to track down your phone from a desktop. Now, one big problem when it comes to big phones is reaching the top, and it's similar on YouTube when it comes to the algorithm, so a little thumbs up on this video would help me out a lot. Anyway, trying to reach the top with one hand could cause you to drop your expensive phone, but not if you do what I'm about to show you. And before I do, I got to shout out the sponsor of this video and thank them for helping me keep the lights on here in the studio. So I'm going to venture a guess that one of the reasons you love Android smartphones is for the customization options. And this is why I love these cases from Caseify, because you can customize these too. And when I told Caseify I was making this video, they offered to sponsor it, and I'm glad they did, because now I can show you guys my own custom case with my channel name on it. And also, here's one of my favorites from their anime designs. And there's hundreds more like this. And they've even done many collaborations with big brand names, famous bands, and even Pokemon. Not only are these Caseify cases stylish and sleek, they are also functional. For example, they have Eco Shock absorption technology that can disperse the force of impact generated from an 8.2 foot drop. And the ultra impact version of the case can survive 11 foot drops. And these have been put through a military grade assault course when it comes to drop testing. And the Caseify cases actually surpass military grade drop proof standards by 5 times. Just in case, like what I did there, just in case, phone case, okay, whatever. And if you're still worried about dropping your phone, even though you got a Caseify case, you could attach one of these phone straps, and they've got a bunch of different ones. I chose this rope style because it looks awesome. And I think this could be great if you're partying, you're going raving, you're going to a big gig or something, and you don't want to lose your phone, you can wear it around your neck. And if you want to create your own case or grab one of the pre-made ones or anything from Caseify, use the link that's on screen or in the description to get 15% off your Caseify order. It is one of the top options when it comes to proper protection for your phone. And check this out, 65% of the materials used in Caseify cases are recycled. So if you get one of these, you're kind of saving the planet. Now, going back to what I was saying about reaching the top, go to Settings, scroll down to Advanced Features. Here you'll see one-handed mode, and it will be off by default. Enable this, and now by simply swiping down on any screen, you will shrink your screen down in size. And if you tap this little arrow, you can flip the side that it's on and double tap anywhere above it to make it go big, just like Super Mario or Magic Mushrooms. One question, do you use Bixby? If the answer to that is no, then you need to do this. Go to Settings, scroll to Advanced Features, tap on Side Key. And here are 2 settings that I think are going to make your life easier on day one. And it is changing the press and hold function to the power menu. So instead of waking Bixby, now you actually just get the power menu that allows you to shut down the device or restart it. And also you can make emergency calls from here too. And if you still want an AI assistant mapped to the power key, you can change the double push of the power key to whatever AI assistant you want. Alexa, Google Assistant, ChatGPT. Wait a minute, I think I'm a bit too early with that one. But you get the idea. And if you wanted to, you could even map it to a specific app of your choosing. If you have one of the larger Samsung Galaxy phones, then you've got a lot of screen real estate to play with, and you might as well make the most of it and expand upon it. So do this, hold your finger down on the blank space on the home screen, go to the settings in the bottom right corner. This takes you to your home screen settings menu. And what I suggest you do is change the size of the grid. I have my grid always set to 5:6. This gives me the maximum amount of apps on the home screen, and this equals less time wasted searching for apps on your device. And as you know, nobody can give you your time back. So thank me later. Now, staying on this home screen settings menu, here's a hidden feature I recommend you enable on day one and disable later on if you want. And the reason I recommend this is from my experience switching phones many times throughout the year. When I get a new device, I like to start from scratch and install the apps manually. That way I don't bring over a bunch of spam apps with all of their permissions, and I don't get all of their annoying notifications. So by default with the new Samsung phones, when you install an app, your phone will automatically put the apps in the app drawer, which means you don't have to swipe up in order to find them and then drag them onto the home screen, which will be useful later on once you've initially set up your phone. Now, I think it's better on day one to do this. Within the home screen settings page, make sure the add new apps to home screen is enabled. So this will add your newly installed apps onto the home screen wherever there's a blank space, and then you can place them wherever you want them to be. And once you set up your phone initially in the layout that you like, you can switch that off. And then if you really like the layout of your home screen, you can even lock the layout by turning this switch on. One of the nice features of the Samsung One UI software that many are unfamiliar with is the ability to stack widgets. Why build sideways when you can build upwards? It's just a better utilization of space. And doing so will save you time too. Do more important things. I always have the Google Assistant widget as standard on my Android phones, like any good Android user would, and it is here by default. But if you want to add a new widget anywhere on any page, just hold your finger down on an empty space, go to widgets, and then you'll have all of the options for all of the widgets that can be added to your home screen. But if you want to create a stack, it's slightly different. You need to hold down your finger on one of the existing widgets on the home screen. Now you can go to create stack. There's a couple of widgets that I personally like to use a lot. For example, NordVPN, that adds it there. Once again, hold your finger down, edit stack, swipe across, go to the plus. I like to have Tidal also there, so my music controls. Swipe across, plus. Now, those are things that I like to have. I suggest that you do you when it comes to these. But there is one widget that I recommend you set up on day one, and that is the device care widget. I also recommend you switch off the auto rotate because that's just going to annoy you. The reason that I recommend this particular widget is if your device ever feels like it's slowing down, this provides the perfect tool to solve that problem. See the little magic sweeping brush down here? If you tap that, your Galaxy will free up its memory in a flash. Okay, now let's do some rapid fire tips. Here are some settings to change to optimize and perfect the peak performance of your brand new phone. Go to settings, sounds and vibrations, sound quality and effects. The Samsung S23 series is Dolby Atmos certified, which simply put is an audio EQ that adds a 3D depth quality to the sound, and this applies to the stereo speakers that are built in and also headphones connected to the device that support Atmos. So trust me on this one, switch it on, it sounds better. Number 8, back to settings. This time we're going to display. Scroll down to where you see screen resolution. I'm a big fan of making the most of things, and in this case, the S23 Ultra's display by default is not set to the maximum resolution. It is in fact set to Full HD Plus, which is good, but if you've paid the cost, then you are the boss of your phone, and you should probably turn it up to WQHD Plus because it looks better. One fear that many people have when switching to a new phone is viruses. In most regions, you'll find on your Samsung Galaxy device, there's an extra tool on top of the Samsung Knox security that is switched off by default. To switch it on, do this. Go to Settings, Battery and Device Care, and here you should see the Device Protection section. If you tap on that, go to the top right corner here where you got the 3 dots. You have Device Protection Settings. Make sure this is on, and you can enable Auto Scan apps daily, which is recommended, and also Auto Scan apps when installing, also recommended. So if you're feeling that fear, use this setting right here. Like what I did there with the rhyme and note, okay. And like the wise man DJ Khaled once said a few hundred times, here's another one. Go to Settings, scroll down, go to Advanced Features. Now go to this section here called Video Brightness. Let's be honest about this, for most people, including myself, one of the primary use cases is consuming video content. And you can enhance this experience by enabling video brightness on apps that you use the most. Why? Well, because it makes it look better. You've got one of the best screens in the game, so you might as well make the most of it and turn on video brightness bright. Now, I've only just set this phone up properly today, and I haven't even installed Netflix or Disney Plus or Prime Video or anything like that yet, but they will all be here in this list, and you can tick and untick the ones that are most important to you, so that when you open those apps, it will automatically trigger the video brightness to kick in. Okay, now it's time to focus. This is something that you should do on day one, and if you do decide to do this, you'll be glad that you did. The world is full of distractions, many of which are designed to separate you from your money, and worse still, some are just designed to waste your time. And no one is immune to this, even me. For example, I only have to hear that PS5 boot up sound, and 5 hours of my day are gone. But listen here carefully, you can take back some control if you set up a routine designed to protect your mind. Because when it comes to getting things done, you know what you're expected to do, right?
What do you expect me to do? Focus.
Go to Settings. This time, we're going to go to Modes and Routines. So within the Modes and Routines settings, scroll to the bottom, go to Add Mode. Now create a mode for getting things done. Now choose an icon for this mode. I'm going to use this piece of the puzzle here, and I'm going to give it a color. Let's say yellow. Now on this page, tap Turn On Automatically, and here we can choose what triggers this routine to start. So let's say whenever you put on a certain pair of headphones for conference calls, you could actually add that as a trigger to turn on this mode. Or let's say you're at school 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock every day. You could set the time period between those hours. Or you could even use a geolocation, let's say your school or your office or something like that, as a condition to trigger this to kick in. And there's a bunch more here that you can choose from. But the way I'm going to use it is far simpler and more useful for me personally. So I'm going to go to App Opened. I have the Google Docs app open because whenever I use Google Docs, I'm usually writing a video script. And sometimes good ideas are like a spark in the dark. If you don't capture them at the right time, sometimes they are gone forever. And guess what happens if I'm writing a video script and then a PS5 notification pops up on top of Google Docs, mid-sentence? Yep, you guessed it, there goes that idea and a minimum of 5 hours of my day. I'm not exaggerating either. It's a real problem. So once you've added the condition to trigger the routine, what you now need to decide is, what is this routine actually going to do? So the most obvious one is do not disturb, but you can take this a bit further and customize it so that you don't miss important alerts. So if you tap just below the do not disturb section, you can add contacts that are allowed to distract you. And you can also add apps that are allowed to send notifications and pass through the do not disturb. For example, your security alarm app or anything important like that. And there's a couple more steps you can take to customize the routine a bit more for you. For example, if I know I'm going to be using Google Docs, I can enable the eye comfort shield because it's likely I'm going to be staring at the screen for long periods of time. And if I wanted to dive into the depths of what this could do, I could even start controlling my smart home with these options here. And the cherry on the cake would be adding custom wallpaper for that routine. This is Galactus from the Marvel Universe, likely to be one of the big bads in the upcoming films featuring the Fantastic Four, if you were wondering. So now this is all set up, and next time I'm writing a video masterpiece or another epic failure, depending on how you look at it, and with the routine activated, I will be allowed to proceed to do so without any loss of enthusiasm. And on that note, for those of you who are still here, I've saved 2 bonus tips for you because I believe you have the patience of a saint and the mind of a Jedi. So here's bonus tip number 1. Go to Settings, scroll to About Phone, and where it says build number, tap this 7 times. Now enter your PIN and you'll see the developer mode has been activated. Now if you go back at the bottom of the settings page, you'll see developer options. Scroll all the way down to where you see this: window animation scale, transition animation scale, and animator duration scale. This tip is only for those of you who want to make your phone appear to be faster than your friends, even if they have the same phone. So by setting these to 0.5 scale instead of 1, the transitions will happen twice as quick, which creates the illusion of your phone being faster than your friends. Now, something that a lot of people who tell you about this don't tell you about is actually the importance of switching this mode back off. Because if you don't, it's kind of the equivalent of leaving a window open on the downstairs floor of your house and then going out. I don't need to tell you why it's not a good idea to leave this on permanently. Bonus tip number 2, settings. Once again, all the way to the bottom, About Phone. Once again, software information, except this time we're going to tap here where it says Android 13, and we're going to keep tapping it until this pops up. Now we're going to dial this analog clock to 1300 hours, which is of course 1 p.m. And here is the Android 13 Easter egg, and this is where it gets pretty cool. If you hold your finger down, it changes the background. And if you like any of these, you could screenshot them and use them as your wallpaper. So I was planning on sharing a ton of camera tips, tricks, and secrets with you in this video. But then I realized those aren't really things you need to master on day one. So I'm working on a separate video specifically for that. So make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss that one. And I was going to take the time to walk you through step by step how to customize your device. But then I realized I already made that guide, and that's on screen right now. And trust me, if you want to make your phone more your own, you're going to want to see this. And if you check that out right now, I will see you in the next one, so don't be late.
Join me.